So we've done a poll of Royal Exclusive viewers and Sun readers, and the results, I don't know if they're that surprising, but on the first question we asked, do you want the King and Prince Harry to reconcile? 73% said no. 18% said yes, 9% said maybe due to concessions. I mean, if you were just to take a straw poll of I read the comments on this show, and people are educated, they're plugged in and they've got views on royal issues. They know what they're talking about. Almost 3/4 of people do not want to see the King and Harry reconcile.
And I think, look, this is always going to be the biggest issue for Harry and Meghan, is that an awful lot has been said. The whole family kind of went under the bus, really, in the documentaries and in Spare. And there are lots of things that they cannot erase in terms of what's been said. And that is very difficult. And Harry actually alluded to it, didn't he, in his recent interview?
He still wants an apology. He wants an apology.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
but he did talk about how it's going to be difficult for his family to forgive him. And as you can see, members of the public are like, well, they shouldn't forgive him. They really shouldn't. But I do think now he's got new people in his team, Harry, and I think they are, and I wrote about it on the weekend, they are aiming, I think, for a softly kind of reset of how we feel about Harry, trying to remind us of, you know what, he was a good lad, we used to love him. Actually, people preferred him sometimes to his brother because he jumped 2 feet in first, he was brilliant with people. Seeing him in Angola again, I think they're trying to probably get him out more.
But wasn't that tired? Did you think that image, the Angola issue, retrading on Diana, he did it in 2019. Yeah. It didn't have really the impact. Yeah, it made a couple of front pages. Didn't have anywhere near the impact it had in South Africa. Mm-hmm. You were there, I was there when he was getting very grumpy with you and whatever. But the reality was, you know, that was a big deal then when we had that.
Yeah.
Wasn't a big deal this time round. So he's not the same draw that he was. He must know that. Yeah. He must know that actually the idea when you've trashed your family, monetarised it. The point is Diana had a right go at, you know, through Andrew Morton's Diana Her True Story. She went for it. But she didn't monetarise it for herself. He made a fortune out of it. And now, in any way, he's asking for forgiveness. Well, you know, I think that his father probably will in the long term. I think he probably will. I just don't see William and Camilla doing it.
But the poll is so interesting because the UK public seriously need winning over. Like, there needs to be some massive work on that. It's just amazing to see
Hence,
those
he appoints
numbers.
a UK PR man.
Yep.
And he's trying to do that. I think it's too late. Too much has gone under the bridge, in my opinion. Too much water.
But you think about Camilla. You think about Camilla Parker Bowles.
Yeah, but what has she actually ever done? Has she ever spoken out against anybody? She's been actually perfect the way she's played.
She was vilified, and yet
they never threw bread rolls at her, though. That actually was an actress. That isn't true, that story.
She was vilified, but Camilla, you know, I was talking about this earlier, she really handled it like a boss. She didn't speak out.
Yes.
She stayed by the King or the Prince of Wales at the time.
Exactly.
She never really put her foot wrong. She just, you know, played a very...
She took it on the chin and never said anything out of place and worked solidly for 15, 20 years. And eventually, even now, you've got some people don't like her, but, you know, you've got to respect her.
But it took a while.
It did take a while.
That's my whole point, is it took a really long time for people to warm to her and
what about
Meghan,
Meghan, though? Will Meghan be able to come back?
But Harry doesn't have that time, really, does he?
He doesn't.
Harry can't follow the blueprint that was used for Camilla to win the public over. But I think you've hit the nail on the head when you were talking about the fact that it's fine to maybe win over, you know, win over the royal family in his desire for a reconciliation between father and son, but he also has to win over the public, and this is the main
75% say no way.
We have a second question that we put to our readers and viewers. Should the royals welcome Harry back into the fold? No, 68%. Yes, for Harry's own good, 13%. He needs to apologise, 19%. So it's, again, overwhelming no, the public say that...
And he needs to apologise as well.
He needs to apologise, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that says it all. I think too much water under the bridge. I think most people will be thinking, no, it's not going to happen. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
But he needs to win back the public as well as the royal family.
But how does he do that when you've been, you know, the Spare did more damage than Netflix. I mean, Spare probably really did wreck it.
No, it gets worse on this poll because we also asked who is the biggest problem for the royal family. And the way it was structured was Harry and Meghan, Meghan on her own, Prince Andrew on his own, or Harry on his own. Prince Harry only scored 10% on who was the biggest problem for the royal family. Prince Andrew was 13%. Meghan on her own was 37%, but Harry and Meghan combined were 39%. So is it maybe that Meghan is actually the problem rather than just Harry on his own?
In their perception, in the general public's, probably is, but probably unfairly.
Because
I think she takes
a lot of the flack.
She takes all the flack. Anything that Harry would have driven, it seems to be blamed onto her because she's an American and she's an outsider. I think it's quite harsh on Meghan. I think actually the things that she has done, she's been pretty true to herself. She said, I can't do this, I'm going to live over there, going to do my sort of stuff that I've done before, TV shows, it's the sort of thing she was doing before. She's pretty much doing what she said she was going to do.
I think the way that both of them handled the departure was not terribly classy, and I don't think people forgive them for that. I think with Meghan there is this, that we share the same language, don't we? But I think there is a culture clash between Brits and Americans. But I do think with Meghan now, she is authentically doing what she wants to show us, and kind of she's taken ownership of her brand through her own social media and stuff. Look, from conversations I had with Harry in the past, he always had the potential to jump. He always had the potential to want to leave the royal family in a way.
I mean, do you remember we were in New Zealand and you did that interview and we did it?
Yes.
And he was all over the place because he was looking for a girl at the time and saying, I don't want to settle down and all these sort of things. He was terribly popular then. And, we went all the way to New Zealand, Stewart Island and whatever.
Yep.
And we were in a pub quiz, which he cheated in and we won. And it was fun. He was okay. And we got massive shows on that trip. I think he threw away a massive pearl here. He's made he had so many things that he could have given. And then I think that's probably why we always blame Meghan for practically everything. But the reality, because she couldn't cope with what was expected of her here. But to trash his family, I think the polls says it all.
Yeah.
75. You're not going to come back from 75%.
But Harry has managed to separate himself off from Meghan in these efforts to reconcile.
Or the other way around.
But he's. We talk about professional separation, that they, have clearly different professional paths and interests in what they're doing. But this isn't about Meghan coming over to speak to the royal family, or this is about Harry meeting the king. He's already paved the way because he said that it's too dangerous to bring Meghan, so that's not going to be an issue. The royal family don't have to sit there thinking, well, he's going to turn up at Balmoral this summer or turn up at the Christmas concert in December with Meghan. He's going to smooth the issue, so it's just Harry that's looking to reconcile.
Yeah, he is, but really for the king, as a grandfather, he should be seeing his grandchildren. There should have been, for those grandchildren, a moment when they met their grandfather, the king, that they could remember. I think it's terribly sad, and I think that it would, if Meghan can't come over, then he should bring his kids and they should have a meeting, wherever they have that meeting, away from prying eyes. And it's just too sad. I think that really, the king, I believe, is an empathetic man, a kind man, a warm person. Yes, he has his moments, but he will be feeling this. He's going through his chemotherapy. He's living with cancer, and I'm sure in his heart he would want to see, his darling boy, as he used to call him.